Okay, everybody, today's vocabulary lesson is going to focus on something called shades of meaning. And the goal for this lesson is for you to try to use more precise terms to express yourself or to describe. So I want to talk to you about what shades of meaning really means. Basically, when you use a phrase or a word to describe something, there may be some small or subtle differences between those words or phrases. Sometimes those differences are small, but the shades can also mean big differences. Let me show you what I mean. Probably back in about third grade, you learned what a synonym was. A synonym is a word that means something very similar. For example, big and large are synonyms. They mean about the same thing. I want you to think for a minute about the word mad. What would be a synonym for mad? Maybe you're thinking upset. Maybe you're thinking angry. But is mad worse than being angry? Let me show you what I mean. Take a look at the first sentence. She was annoyed with her little brother. Now look at the second sentence. She was angry with her little brother. Is annoyed the same as being angry? Let's think about what those two words really mean. They both mean she's not happy with her brother, but there is a difference. The first sentence kind of suggests that she's bothered by her brother, whereas the second sentence kind of shows that she's mad. So there's a slight shade of difference between being annoyed and being angry. Take a look at the different colors that you can see on this slide. At the top, you can see the word shaken in the lightest shade of purple. But as you work down the color scale, you can see different shades and different words. If somebody jumps out from behind a door, they may have shaken you. And that's kind of a synonym for scared. Now, if you lose, let's say, your child at the grocery store or at an amusement park, you may be terrified, horrified. You may even be petrified, because losing somebody is a much more intense feeling of being scared. Take a look at this particular scale. This scale works a little differently. All these words are used to describe or talk about the different shades of being happy. At the bottom, you see the word glad. And then as you work your way up toward the top, you may see words such as elated, overjoyed, and at the very top, euphoric. That's a very intense feeling of happiness. So the next time you have a feeling of happiness, try to think about, where are you on this scale? Are you glad and pleased? Or are you exuberant? Or are you euphoric? There are a lot of different shades of meaning depending on what you're talking about. Take a look at this chart for a minute. You can see different shades of meaning to describe size, like small. Or if you look at the darkest shade, you'd see the word microscopic, which means really, really, really tiny. You can only see it with a microscope. You can also look at some of the shades down below that are describing emotions, mad and happy. Those are very simple terms, but your goal is to be more precise. So are you mad or are you furious? Or are you irate, which is a very intense form of being angry? Now look at happy. Happy is right next to joyful. You could almost call them synonyms. They mean about the same thing. But if you look at the most intense color underneath happy, you see ecstatic. Is that really the same as simply being happy? There are many shades between happy and ecstatic. So ecstatic is a much more intense form of happiness. So I want you to set a goal for yourself to try to think about using precise vocabulary to describe what you're trying to say. And try to think about whether or not you're using a word that's overly simple to describe something that you're trying to explain. And have fun with this. This is something you can try with your family. Set a goal for yourself. And honestly, this will expand your vocabulary in a powerful way if you try this each day. All right. Have a good day, everybody.